Harley-Davidson has released info on several 2025 motorcycles unchanged from last year, has changed some of their pricing, and given us some clues about the 2025 model year. What changes are coming and when will the official release happen? Stay tuned. And if you're enjoying the content, please consider subscribing to the channel, liking the video, and sharing it with friends. So, Harley-Davidson has released information on the 2025 models that haven't changed, which gives us a clue as to which models are likely to receive updates later this month when the motor company has its official 2025 new model release, which will take place on January 23rd. There are several things that stood out, so let's start with the most obvious news. The Street and Road Glide stay the same but get a huge bump in price. The Street Glide goes from $26,000 to $27,750 US, or $32,000 to $34,300 Canadian, while the Road Glide goes from $26,000 to $28,000 US, or $32,000 to $34,650 Canadian. Other than new colors, there are no additional changes to the bikes, which will upset a lot of riders. I wonder how much this is going to affect the out-the-door prices, as dealers already mark up these bikes. Will the dealer markups be smaller as a result of the changes, or will dealers' prices jump by the same amount as MSRP? I've ridden and reviewed the Street Glide on the channel, check out the link to that video in the top right corner, and thought it was relatively reasonably priced for what it was. But with the price hike, the fact that it has no electronically adjustable suspension, electric windshield, or adaptive cruise control stands out more. The Road King Special also stays the same with the older frame and 114 cubic inch engine and a $750 US and $900 Canadian price hike. That's a bit disappointing because I'd love to see the Road King move to the new frame and the 117 engine. There is some buzz about a Road King Classic Revival model, but that would be expensive and a limited time run anyways. Quite frankly, since there are no more budget-friendly touring models, I think Harley should bring back the standard model with a 114 or even a 107 motor. Not gonna happen though. There is no word on the CVO models as of yet, so there may be something new coming up there. If Harley was just going to bring back the CVO Road and Street Glides as well as the CVO Road Glide ST, which I reviewed last year, check out that video in the top right corner, I'm guessing they would have put them on the website already. The fact that they didn't indicates that there may be a new CVO a-brewing, but Harley has been very tight-lipped about that, so I have no idea what it might be. The three Trikes return for 2025 as they were before with the same prices, but some new color options which you can check out on the Harley website. The company has not upgraded the fairings to the new Road and Street Glide Trikes, probably because they sell too few to invest in developing brand new frames and drivetrains for 2025. It's good to see that these bikes are still the same prices, but keep in mind that these prices were high to begin with. So are the Ultras or limited full dressers coming back for 25, and will they be upgraded with the new frames, fairings, and motors for this year? Yes. Harley has listed accessories for an Ultra Limited alongside the Street Glide, which would seem to suggest that it will be a new model. As for the Road Glide Limited, all indications are that Harley will offer a limited package for about $2,500 US that will bolt onto the Road Glide, which will include a top box and lowers. This seems to go along with the streamlining and reduction in model count that Harley has been doing in the last few years. Makes sense to ship kits to dealers rather than producing a separate model. It's just more efficient that way. As for the Softails, Sportsters, and Pan Americas, that information is coming on January 23rd, which doesn't mean that we can't speculate. There was one piece of insider info about the Softails that was either teased or accidentally released by Harley on their website. When you go to the cruiser page, you get this picture of a lowrider ST tank which doesn't tell you much. However, for a brief time, if you looked at this photo on your phone, you could see that there was a high output badge on the air filter of the 117 engine, similar to the one on the 121 CVO Road Glide. What does high output mean on the CVO? It means a more aggressive cam. So the Lowrider ST and perhaps the Lowrider S as well will come with a Stage 2 cam which would suit the mission of the two bikes. Personally, I love the laid-back feel of the 117 motor in the Street Glide, and putting a hot cam in that motor will definitely make it more high-strung, but the Lowrider S and ST are supposed to be the sporty Softails, so a high-output engine makes sense. There's no word on other changes to the Softail lineup, but the fact that Harley didn't list any carryover models with simple price changes may mean that the whole lineup is getting an overhaul. Perhaps engine upgrades are coming, or the bikes are getting lean-sensitive ABS and traction control like the touring models. Who knows? The Sportsters are not listed either, which suggests more changes there as well. I have no idea what these may be other than price, which will hopefully drop seeing as the bikes are now produced in Thailand. The move in production was a blatant attempt to circumvent EU tariffs on American bikes, but the EU sued Harley in the European Court of Justice and won. This means that the Thai-built Harleys will still be subject to Euro tariffs despite not being built in America. The only thing you could salvage out of that situation would be lower prices. So as the bikes are just not selling, perhaps the least expensive Harleys will come with lower price tags. Additionally, with the sport lineup, there are always rumors that the Bronx will make an appearance, but I just don't see it. The Bronx would not sell to the traditional Harley crowd and simultaneously not be able to compete with bikes like the Yamaha MT-09 on weight, performance, and price, so it's unlikely to capture any significant part of the naked bike market. If you want to sell a bike like this, you have to add an element of style and make it a cafe racer or dirt tracker. If I was Harley, I'd also put the 1250 in there instead of the 975, as 150 horsepower would be a lot more attractive in a package like that. Finally, the website shows no Pan Americas, so there are definitely changes coming to Harley's adventure bikes. I don't see a Pan America CVO coming back, as it didn't make much sense in the first place. Why would you make a beautifully finished adventure bike that's just going to be knocked around in the gravel and dirt? You're better off just getting the special. I also don't think Harley will take the current Pan America frame and stick a 975 Rev Max in it. That bike would be the same weight as the current Pan America while having less power and would definitely not be able to compete in the middleweight adventure bike segment. As a middleweight adventure bike rider myself, I can tell you that a middleweight Pan America would have to come in around 480 pounds wet to have any chance of even being looked at by the average adventure rider. It would have to rival bikes like the BMW F900 GS and Triumph Tiger 900 in weight, power, and performance. So unless Harley-Davidson has been developing a whole new lighter frame behind the scenes, a 500 plus pound Pan America 975 would just sit on dealership floors collecting dust. ADV riders don't care about a Harley nameplate as much as they care about features and performance. You're much more likely to see a serious sport touring version of the Pan America, something like a lot of the custom ones you can find on the internet. Harley-Davidson does a good job of paying attention to what the custom scene is doing with their bikes, and these days you see a lot of King of the Baggers type Pan America builds with 17-inch sport bike wheels and rubber. A bike like that would definitely appeal to the sport touring crowd. 150 horsepower, a lower seat height because of the smaller wheels, Harley's own lowering option which drops the seat when the bike slows down to walking pace, and maybe lower and more road bias suspension settings as well. This could be a winner and is definitely possible as the Pan America lends itself nicely to this treatment. Most adventure riders spend little to no time off-road, and a fully road-going Pan Am would absolutely smoke even the CVO Road Glide ST, which is supposed to be the king of the baggers bike in Harley's lineup. And with being built in Thailand, the price might be reasonable. Probably not, but I'd love to see it. So it remains to be seen whether American buyers would ride Thai-built Harleys, and with the loss in the European Court of Justice, the Eurobikes will remain very pricey due to tariffs, so Harley is facing some serious headwinds and needs to knock this January 23rd launch out of the park. Hey, maybe they'll bring back the Evo Sportsters. Fat chance, but please Harley, surprise me. But what do you think they'll come out with on the 23rd, and do you think it will be enough to stop the steadily declining sales? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Check out some of these other videos that may be of interest to you. Ride safe, and may the spokes be with you.